That's recording. Hi, this is Africa Investor Stories, your podcast that allows you to get a true insight into what it's like to be an investor in Africa. Now, today's guest is very special because he deals in raw materials of what comes out of Africa. And he's made a lot of money, enough to keep him going, steady in life, amongst other things, on investing on the product that comes out of Africa. And that is gold and silver. Now, I haven't met a person who doesn't like either of those products, so you want to probably tell the kids to go to bed and sit down and listen to what this guy has to say. He's from Romania. He's lived throughout Europe. He's also lived in South America. He specializes on ayahuasca. So there's an understanding of the spiritual inner being side, which obviously also remotes back to the mother continent. And he helps people through that process because they're dealing with their inner demons. He has his partner, his girlfriend. He's a bit like a Richard Branson, where he's dropped out of college or higher education, but he's still made his mark on this planet. He's a very nice guy, and on a personal note, I know him because he's one of these people who was in my London Real podcasting course, which we did about 8-9 months ago now. And he's one of the faithful few who stayed consistent on coming twice a week, throughout that period of time. And we've always had our meetings and we've talked about whatever issues of the day, from the pandemic or plandemic, however you see it, to just being a podcaster and the trials and tribulations and the way we move forward. So without further ado, welcome, Claude.
Hey, thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you. I don't remember having such a beautiful introduction before, like the one you just did on the spot, because I remember I just gave you this data like shortly, and wow, I'm impressed. Such a beautiful introduction. Right away, I wanna say something. I didn't really make a killing out of it, but it'll allow me to have a sense of freedom that I am my own boss and I can select my working hours, this kind of job. And it's what people call the digital nomads and all of that cool stuff. And that's exactly what I desired, that I don't have someone to tell me what to do. And, to trial and error and some success, I achieved that point where I can do okay. Not killing it, but do okay. And, I wanted to say in advance, some of my, feedback or talks are going to have a kind of a spiritual connotation, because it is what took me to this place, and it is what brought me further understanding of all that's happening. And even though, yes, I do okay financially, I also realize that's not really the most important aspect that we have here. But I do have a human body, and this human body needs to eat. So as long as I have my freedom from the 9 to 5, and as long as I can work for myself, that's the most important aspect. And this is not to say anything about people who have a 9 to 5 or anything like that. This is just my personal experience. And I didn't want to have to give feedback or report to someone else. I didn't need a boss in my life. So I became my own boss. And, sometimes it works and sometimes let's say I have to go out, use my charm, and someone will pay the bills.
So that being said, how did you come into the higher idea of getting into the gold and silver?
Well, let me tell you a short story. Originally, at my roots, I am what's being called a gypsy. These people were nomads, and they like to, have their wealth into gold. And because I was raised to some extent in a certain tradition, all of them, they like to have gold coins, all jewelry. They said, this is what's gonna keep the value of your fortune. And I also always liked it. I wished I could have one of those gold chains myself, but we grew up in a poor family, so we didn't really have those. But through the time, I managed to buy some jewelry for myself, and I noticed, oh, you know what? The value of these things, it keeps increasing. And then I started to work for my father when I was around 17 and a half. I was making around $300 a month, and it was 9 to 5, 8 hours a day, every day, except Sundays. And of course, I had responsibilities, and it stayed with me for 2 years until I just quit it. And as I was there, I was working for his shop, a car parts dealership where we just sell car parts. So I was on the computer most of the time. And yeah, I took 300, my monthly salary, put it into the Forex market, which is similar to what is the stock market. And I traded that. I put the $300 and I invested it into gold, electronic gold. And I made about $9,400 in 3 months at 17. That's how it started.
Okay. So would you say it's something you've taught yourself, or has people guided you through that process?
Look, there's a lot of information on anything that you want to do, any kind of business. There's also people that you can see as mentors. There's also a lot of sources, but I wouldn't say I'm self-taught. I will say I have used the instruments available to myself, and these instruments are free. And I followed those, and I started what's called a demo account, meaning that what I trade, it doesn't really use my money, but the transaction is real. So that brought me, after 2 months of training myself into that and listening to this guy, to this person, to this news, to this YouTube channel, I will say I was taught and self-taught at the same time. So I wouldn't take the credit just for myself. I just taught myself. But sometimes we have to practice something in order to learn it. Mm-hmm. So let's say 50-50.
Okay, that's good. So how does this whole Forex, because it's Forex what you do, yeah?
Yes, indeed.
How does it work? Can you explain it to the listeners?
Right. So it could be a very complex situation, but it's not. Basically, if you have a phone, a mobile phone, or any kind of computer or a tablet, you can make money on the Forex market. All you need is just internet connection. And you can do this kind of job anywhere in the world, as long as you have a connection to the internet. So basically, you are trading a currency. Here we talk about gold. I trade gold and silver because they seem to be what's called safe haven assets in the world. So throughout the time, these assets, they seem to be a much better investment than anything else. And traditionally, look at it, thousands of years, this is what has been trading into gold and silver and coins and gold bars. That's what we had. And this proved to be a safe haven into everything. So going back to the Forex scenario, basically there's an app, there's thousands of apps. There's a terminal, it's called MetaTrader 4 and 5 lately. First of all, I will recommend start a demo account. There's a lot of brokers which can offer you a demo account. You don't need any money to start with. But when you are ready to go for the real thing, you can put as little as $10. Put $10 and start trading. It's as easy as that. And here's the thing with Forex, they offer something called leverage. Leverage actually gives your $10 the power of 500 times of that. So that's what leveraging is. It multiplies your money and you pay a commission to that broker. So instead of buying tens of thousands of gold ounces and spending a lot of money, you can do this electronic trading where the broker itself gives you this power on a small commission. So once you get the app, put the money in, open a trade. It takes less than a second to do it. And trust your instincts and the news, where that might head to.
What would you say that for someone who's trying to get into the industry of that you've learned that you wish you knew when you first started?
Yeah, don't involve your emotions too much into it. Yeah, we are humans. And of course, nobody likes to see their money dropping down into an account. Everybody wants to see the money increasing all the time. and it gives you an extraordinary adrenaline when that happens, and you're gonna feel so depressed when that starts going down. So every trader out there that says don't involve your emotions, these are just numbers, invest everything that you do not mind losing. That doesn't mean you need to put all your money, all your household money into something like this. These are high risks and high rewards at the same time. It does offer you flexibility and freedom, and you don't need a boss to tell you what to do, and you can select your working hours. So don't involve your emotions, and this takes time and practice and failure, and eventually success is going to come once you start to learn the ropes of how these things work.
Okay, that's good. So how much time does it take to do what you do? Like, is it something you do, you have to monitor throughout the day? You need like a monitor, you need to be looking at a map constantly, or have screens in every place in your house?
It's up to you if you want to do that. If you want to go like to those extremes where you want it to be full-time going on it, you want to trade full-time, you can do that, or you can just trade in your part-time. Basically, you can have a normal job or have another business, have your phone next to you, and you can place trades like that. See, that's, you can also do it like that part-time. You can set a potential trade to follow in the future. And if it reaches that target, that price, it's going to open the trade for you. At the same time, you can direct the application on what to do for you. So it doesn't necessarily require you to be there all the time. Of course, the more time you dedicate to it, the better it is and the better you get at it. But I have had trades while I was sleeping, and I made thousands of dollars while sleeping.
Okay, that's good. Does, excuse me, these apps, obviously you're a man that's traveled, you've traveled South America, throughout Europe. Do this app, are they working in any continent of the planet? Or
anywhere there is
anywhere?
Internet.
Okay, that's good to know. Mm-hmm. So is it, how many years have you done this investing for?
I have done this for over 15 years, and it takes a lot of practice. Maybe the strongest point of it all is what is it that you feel? Where do you feel this is gonna head to? Because nobody out there knows where this is gonna head to. And yes, you can look at the news and see where it's gonna head to, and you can listen to all these mentors, or to me, or to someone else, or to another trader. But you need to follow your intuition, first of all. And of course, you have all these resources that you can look at. So follow your intuition. And I also wanted to add, these are a lot of people who do this stuff, they are going to lose money. So I'm not coming here to say, go do this job. But if you have the time and you put the effort and you learn, and you're going to learn by losing money, first of all, I need to make this very clear. But you're going to learn, and it takes practice. And that's why it's called trading. You are not investing, you are trading. So you need to see it as a business. A business can do well or bad in certain days. If you want to invest, then you just put the money. Let's say you want to invest in gold. You put the money and you buy the gold bars and you just check the price months later. That's called investing on the longer term. What I do is day trading, almost day trading, which is quite different.
Okay, that's good. So with this day trading, so that means you only trade between like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, you can be at 24 hours if you want it, except Saturday and Sundays, because the markets are closed at that time. Just depends how much time you want to dedicate to it.
Mm-hmm. And is there typically, how do you manage mentally where it goes wrong and you may lose everything? How do you manage that?
Well, I say to myself, I still have myself. I still have a garden, and I have apples from God, and I can just go eat that, and I can go be a farmer if I want to. So as long as I have my life, I'm happy. And everything else is just optional, you know? This thing of money, it doesn't really exist. It have taken me a lot of years to come to this point. because it has to do with the spiritual practices and experiences. And I do have a daily practice where I do yoga and I meditate, and this seems to help a lot. So when I look at trading, for me, it's a way of coming to peace to myself, that no matter what happens, I will have peace and happiness in my life, because I realize these are just some numbers. Money comes and goes. Yes, I do depend on that, but I can also just eat fruit. I can live with very limited resources. So if everything falls down in one day, it's okay.
So you've got to be comfortable in who you are, know yourself, and be able to see the
Yes.
bigger picture. The bigger picture is you want the bare minimals paid, and just to be happy in life in general. Okay. You could trade in anything, but you chose specifically silver and gold. Why?
Well, I heard at the time that the currencies and the stock market and all these companies who sell you stocks and shares, they can be manipulated. And I said to myself, oh, I don't want to play that game. So I said, okay, it seems that these are safe haven assets and they are less to be influenced by manipulation. So I got myself into that. And it was the easiest thing to do. Plus, I started to follow this gentleman that does technical analysis on it. And the way he was doing it, I fell in love with that, with just these two currencies. Um, of course, people are trading a lot of things out there, and I would like to expand myself as well. But I said to myself, I don't have such a strong heart, to go into all these different markets, because a different market, it's a different animal of its own. And I knew gold and silver at that time, and I stay with what I felt comfortable with. Sometimes don't chew more than you can eat.
Okay. You spoke about one time that friends wanted to give you money to invest in the gold and silver. Explain what happened. And
Yeah.
because why I say this is many people make a living out of taking other people's money on a condition or agreed contract, investing it and giving them a cut and taking their cut. But you
Yeah.
made your own. You had your own thoughts on that.
I appreciate the question. It's very beautiful. I don't do this, or when I am here sharing with you, so I can make money out of people. But if I can make money out of markets, I will do that. And you see, a lot of people see that I'm doing pretty okay for my life, and they want to be part of it. But when people want to give me money, I feel responsible for their money. So of course, if we win money, everybody's happy. If we lose money, everybody's depressed. And I don't want to be in a situation where I lose the money of the investors. I don't want to put myself in such a situation. I want them to succeed, but I don't know if I can handle seeing people losing money. It also puts me in a situation where, in that case, I will have a boss that I will have to report to. And that's exactly what I don't want in my life. So this is some of the reasons that I return the money back to the people. And these are longtime friends. They send me the money, and I didn't trade anything with their money for 1 month. And I sent the money back because I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. It's not what I am here for, to take someone's money. If anything, I hope anybody can take some good stuff from what we share here. That's what I want to do, share with the world and be inspired to start something yourself, and gamble what you afford to gamble.
Would you encourage other people to invest in gold and silver?
Definitely, but maybe start with the physical metals, because then no matter where the market goes, you're still going to have it. And 6 months, 8 months from now, that price is going to keep growing up. Definitely you're not going to have the same profits you're going to have from Forex or shares or trading it electronically. Of course, you're not going to have those kind of profits, but you're not going to lose anything.
When you say physical, do you mean actually purchasing gold and keeping it at home, or is there something else?
Exactly. That's one of the ways. There's a lot of other companies who actually, when I mentioned about gold, there's this international standard for gold coins and gold bars. There's a really good one. It's made in Swiss. I think it's called PAMP, PAMP, and those are recognized everywhere, along with others. There's a lot of websites and companies who sell this. But I will always advise, if you're looking for something sure and you're looking to, you don't want to risk anything, and you want it to be recognized internationally, go for international gold coins and gold bars if you can afford it, than jewelry. Because that jewelry, you're not going to get the same price you're going to get for these coins or bars.
But then later on, you could always have the jewelry turned into gold bars or gold or gold coins.
Yes,
you think about it, it's all gold.
You can wear it.
It's all gold.
You can wear it.
So it can be, if you've got the right craftsman, he can melt it down to whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
You put it in, you got a block, you've got enough jewelry. I used to work security with a guy who used to keep all his gold. He used to wear all these jewelry. It's like he's walking around with £80,000 worth of jewelry on him. It's just big chains, like motorbike chains worth of gold jewelry. And his thing was, he had a divorce once and his wife took everything. So the new wife now, he's put all his money in jewelry. So if she wants to divorce him, he'll just say all his gold got stolen, so he leaves less with something. And he was serious about that. He was serious. But, so basically you're saying PAMP, gold coins, gold bars, and jewelry.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other, all of this, they're called mint factories. There's a bunch of them out there that their products are recognized internationally. So just do a research on that. It's going to come up there. And I want to add this.
Sorry. What do mint factories do?
Minting. So the minting is like let's say they take the jewelry that you got, they smelt it down, they go to the purity, 100% purity. So this process is called minting. So there's these big factories which do these things. And in that process, when they smelt that jewelry, your word loses money because it involves all these processes of melting, of turning it into a gold bar or a gold coin. It takes money to do that. That's why I wanted to say it's best to have it in internationally recognized currencies such as gold bars and coins rather than jewelry, because your gold is going to be so much more worth in that way. Of course, but you can wear it yourself if you want. Eventually, all this jewelry is going to end up into that kind of currency as well.
Okay. So there'll be a law that everything will be in gold coins or some gold currency.
I don't know if there's going to be a law, but traders prefer to buy gold coins and gold bars than chains and bracelets.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't say it's bad. I used to have that in my home also, but on the long term, if you're serious about investing, don't put a lot of money just into jewelry. Get gold coins or bars. And there's some companies out there who offer to keep this for you in a vault, safe, so you don't have to keep it in your home.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. Have you ever used those companies?
No, I haven't. I'm looking to purchase some coins. I don't trust anybody with holding my gold bars or physical gold with them.
You put it under your bed.
I want it in my. It's gonna be under my dog's home or something like that.
You just told the world, man. Yeah, don't go to Claude. Find out where Claude lives. Go to his house. You go for his duck, but okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's good information.
We're leaving some hints. We're creating a treasure hunt story for your audience.
It's funny. I have a connect back in Africa, and he used to be involved with one of the African president's family, married to one of their family members, and they have the rights to mine and export the gold. So that's something that we're actually looking into, starting giving people opportunity to buy gold bars and things like that. But that'll be through the consultancy side of I Supply Africa that we also run. Okay. So if you had to do it all again, would you? And would you do anything different?
Well, very interesting question. I wouldn't do anything different because you see, everything took me to this exact point right here. Even though some of the choices that I did in my life were not the best, especially for people around me, you know, that wasn't nice. But you see, in my life, everything that happened, it took me to where I needed to be at. So I wouldn't change anything. And of course, a lot of people will say this stuff. No, I don't want to change anything in my life, but you have to understand that even though you will wish you could change some aspects of your life, then it will change who you are in this moment. So no, never. I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay, that's good. And last but not least, what's the impact you want to have in this world?
You see, I don't necessarily have an aspiration. I hope that people can find the real gold that's sitting right below their nose, and no money can buy that. I hope that people can look there, and I hope that we can all learn from each other, and I hope that we can all support each other. And I wouldn't say it's an aspiration. I will say that I wish that all of us get to enjoy this beautiful experience that we are living. Sometimes it's more difficult and sometimes it's more easier for us, and we are all different. But the greatest gold out there is sitting right in your chest, and you can touch it. And I hope that you can be inspired to find the beauty in it.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for that. It's been a great interview, and I'm sure we'll have you back, but we'll probably be talking about investing in oneself and dealing with the inner demons through the use of ayahuasca, because I see you're a very spiritual man. And like you said, you're kind of part shaman kind of thing where you help people for things. But yeah, thanks again. And I hope you have a good day.
Thank you, Simon.